Good morning, guys, from Detroit, Michigan. Spiritual whistleblower here. Um, I just want to thank everyone that came out to the support group meetup yesterday. It was awesome. It was amazing. Also, shout out to my people in Kansas City, Missouri. We had a beautiful support group meeting. We had a luncheon on Friday in Missouri. Um, you guys brought me gifts and stuff. I I don't expect that stuff. I'm not looking for it. But I'm more than honored and just humbled and thankful that I have amazing supporters. Like, I get so emotional when I get out here and meet people, and they just surprise me with things like that, nice little gestures and just, gifts of gratitude. And I don't really want anything. I don't, you guys don't have to do that. But even if you do and insist, thank you so much. Detroit and Kansas City was amazing. Today, I'm actually in the airport right now. I'm leaving Detroit and I'm headed to Denver, Colorado. I have a paint and sip event today. It's a women's empowerment paint and sip. So if you're in Denver, Colorado, you love to paint, you still have time to register. There is a link. It's $35. I will be speaking today, and we will be painting a beautiful painting in honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which kicks off October 1st. So Denver, Colorado today. That starts at 2:30, guys. Monday, I'll be in Columbus, Ohio. So shouts out to all my Ohio people. I have people driving from Cleveland, and there's people right there in Columbus who have already signed up to attend Monday's support group meetup. I look forward to meeting you guys. Okay, let's get into this video. I want to talk about Psalm 27:10. The book of Psalms, which is one of my favorite books in the Bible. Psalms and Proverbs, and I think Ecclesiastes are my favorite books in the Bible. Oh, Matthew too. The book of Psalms, Psalm 27:10. Though my mother and father forsake me, the Lord will take me up. Or, though my mother and father forsake me, the Lord will receive me. There's different versions of it. But in other words, let me translate. When your mother and father abandon you, God will receive you. Okay? So, in other words, if your mom or dad or both of them are narcissists, they have groomed you to accept and tolerate all types of abuse. I mean, this is why, this is the root of all your relationship issues. Because what we fail to realize is that when we get in relationships with narcissists, we're really getting in relationships with people with the same persona as our toxic parents. You're dating your mother, you're dating your father. That's all it is. Your parents have groomed you to attract people and to get in relationships with people just like them. Your original abuser was mommy and daddy. Period. Point blank. They are the ones that taught you to be toxic and codependent. They're the ones that taught you the abandonment issues. They're the ones that groomed you to be people pleasers because they demand, if you're the scapegoat like I was, you're going to be the caretaker of the fucking family. You're going to be taking care of your siblings. You're going to be a parent. It's like you're the third parent when your mother and father should be doing the work. And I speak on this in my narcissistic abuse, my parent webinar series. This is called parentification, where the narc parent assigns the parental duties to the scapegoat child to take care of everyone in the family, including the parents. And you're a whole child. Yeah, man, I had 2 jobs when I was in high school, and my mother, every payday, she took my entire paycheck. Entire check. I never got to spend a dime on myself, go shopping with my friends. Fun stuff that teenagers should be doing in high school, especially my senior year. No. My money was her money. She claimed all my paychecks. She didn't have a job. She refused to work. Very lazy, self-entitled. But I was busting my ass at 16 years old, and yeah, girl took all my money. Very financially abusive. But this is where we learn our codependency issues. This is where we learn to become weak. We tolerate all types of bullshit. We become doormats, people pleasers. We don't understand what healthy boundaries are. We just let anyone step into our space. We give everyone access. We want to be caretakers and fixers. We want to fix everybody's problems, but we don't even fix our own. We've been taught and programmed to do this stuff by our parents. And then what happens, you grow up and you get in one toxic relationship after the next, or you get into friendships with toxic people who use and abuse you. All you're doing is, and this is only because you're trauma bonded to mommy and daddy. Your parents are narcs. You are trauma bonded to them for years until you have your awakening and figure this shit out. And I don't care if you're 40 and 50, you're going to have to go back into your childhood and slice that cord. You got to slice that umbilical cord. You got to cut them cords, honey, from your parent. You got to cut that trauma bond. Some of us is too scared to do it. How do you cut the trauma bond? Well, you may want to have a sit down conversation with your narc parent. I wouldn't suggest it. I haven't talked to mine, and I know that if oh, that's the announcements. I know if I were to sit both my parents, and I'm ready to look them in their face and get in their ass and have this discussion. If I were to sit both of my parents down and have this talk, I actually did try to talk to my father once. He rejected it. A narcissistic parent is going to reject all of it. They're going to deflect. They're going to bounce it back onto you. Well, I did the best that I could. They're going to be really smug. They're not going to be accountable. They're going to blow you off. But if you're going to do something like that, make sure you're doing it for your own closure. Don't go to them thinking, Mom, this is what it is. I've done my research. You and Dad are narcs and da da da. Don't go there with the intent of thinking you're going to correct your parents and check them and put them in. It's not going to work. It's going to backfire. Go to give yourself closure if that's what you're really going to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't advise doing it. If I sit my parents down right now, they're going to be like, bitch, we did the best we could. Get the fuck out our face. They're not going to hold themselves accountable. No. You're still alive. We clothed and fed you, didn't we? So what, we was fighting. So what, this and that. I wish I didn't have my mother. Hear my mother's mouth now. I should have had an abortion. I wish I didn't have. I give birth to y'all. I don't want that energy being projected on me. I cut it off 10 years ago, and I know, and even though I'm ready, they stalk me every day on my Instagram. I leave my page public on purpose. They're terrified of me. They're not ready for that conversation because I would eat them alive. So if you're going to confront your parents and let them know that they're narcs, just be prepared to get rejected. They're not going to validate you. They're not going to hold themselves accountable. And if you get an apology, it's fake. It's not real. Know what you're getting into before you deal with them. But the point of this video is just to let you guys know. Attention, the terminal Spirit Airlines Flight 899 services into flight announcements. Listen, the point of this video is listen, it's biblical. A lot of y'all want to cut off your narc parent and you're scared or you don't know how. It's no different than escaping domestic violence in a relationship. You escaping your abuser in your relationship is very scary. You have to be silent. You create a blueprint, an exit strategy. It's the same thing with a narc parent. When you're escaping, because that narcissistic parent they're going to come after you, or they're going to send flying monkeys, other family members, that you only got one mother, you only got one father. Give your mother another chance. We family, we all you got. They're going to guilt the fuck out of you to return back to your abuser, your mother or father. You can't tell anyone about your exit strategy when you're plotting to escape an abusive parent. You can't. The Wayne County Airport I've been through all this. My mother did all types of despicable things when I escaped, calling child protective services on me, smear campaigns, everything. She's still smearing me. I don't care. I don't care about the smearing. That don't bother me at all. I'm just free from that bullshit and all that toxicity. It's not around me anymore. Um, Bible scripture Psalm 27:10. I'll let her finish. Social distancing announcements. Listen, Psalm chapter 27, verse 10. 27:10. Though my mother and father forsake me, the Lord will receive me. It's right there in scripture. It discusses you breaking free from your abusive parents. When your parents abandon you, mistreat you, treat you like shit, smear you, all the things that Satan has trained the narc to do, triangulate you against your siblings, make you feel inferior, invalidate your success, gossip, all that. My mother and father have done all of this to me. Bible says when your mother and father cut the fool on you, don't worry about it, because God's going to step in and be your parent. He's going to take you up. He's going to wrap his arms around you and love you and validate you and give you everything you need. Everything that your mother and father, your narc parents, would not give you or deny you, God's going to fill you up. God is going to pour into you. So for those of you that feel guilty, if you're contemplating on cutting your parents off and it's been many, many years and you just didn't know how to do it, keep praying on it. Stop feeling guilty. A lot of y'all are guilty, feeling guilty. I went through the guilt and it went away. I just jumped out there and I did it. I cut mommy and daddy off and I have not looked back, and I've had so much peace and clarity in my life. But I also trust that God is taking very good care of me all these years. When I made that cut, when I cut that umbilical cord from mommy and daddy and I didn't look back, God has taken immaculate care of me. He has been my parent, the parent I never had. When your mother and father forsake you, the Lord will receive you and take you up. I want y'all to think about it and have a blessed day. To our next video. Bye.